Welcome back to the channel. If you're here for the first time, this is where we share powerful stories that touch the heart, remind us of the struggles people quietly carry, and show how compassion can change lives. If you love stories that inspire and move you, make sure to subscribe and stay with us until the very end of this one, because today's story might change the way you look at the people you meet every day. It all started with a simple family dinner. David was a single father in his late 30s who had been raising his 9-year-old daughter Lily all on his own for the past 4 years. Life hadn't been easy for him. His wife, Emma, had passed away unexpectedly after a long illness, leaving David with not only the heartbreak of losing his partner but also the enormous responsibility of being both mother and father to their daughter. At first, he felt completely lost. There were nights he would cry quietly after putting Lily to bed, wondering how he could possibly fill the void. But over time, he built his own rhythm, learned to braid her hair, attend her school plays, cook her favorite meals, and most importantly, listen to her the way Emma always did. On a Friday evening after a long work week, David decided to take Lily out for dinner. He thought it would be nice to break their usual routine of homemade spaghetti or reheated leftovers. Lily was excited and suggested the small diner downtown that she loved because of its milkshakes. So, David agreed. They walked into the cozy little place, the scent of fried food and coffee greeting them, and sat down at a booth near the window. That's when they met her, the waitress who seemed different. Her name tag read, Sarah. She looked to be in her mid-20s, with long hair pulled into a ponytail, her uniform neat but slightly worn. She moved quietly, almost mechanically, as if each step was practiced but heavy. David noticed something right away: she never smiled. While other waiters and waitresses at the diner would greet customers with cheerful hellos and friendly banter, Sarah simply walked over with her notepad, took orders politely, and moved on. Her face was calm but expressionless, her eyes tired, her voice soft but distant. Lily, who was naturally bubbly and cheerful, whispered to her dad after Sarah walked away from their table, "She looks sad, Daddy. Don't you think?" David nodded but brushed it off. "Maybe she's just tired, sweetheart. People have long days sometimes." But as the meal went on, David couldn't stop noticing her. Each time she came to refill their drinks or bring food, she avoided eye contact, never smiled, never laughed, never showed even the faintest spark of joy. Something inside him ached. He knew what it was like to carry sadness so heavy that it dimmed every part of you. He recognized that look. He had worn it himself in the months after Emma died. And while he had slowly rebuilt his life, he wondered what Sarah's story was. When the meal was nearly over, David decided to gently ask. Not out of judgment, but out of genuine curiosity and concern. As Sarah placed the check on the table, he looked at her kindly and said, "Can I ask you something? Please don't take it the wrong way. I've noticed you never smile. Why is that?" For a moment, Sarah froze. Her hand lingered on the edge of the table, her eyes flickered, and then she quickly tried to compose herself. Most people might have ignored the question, laughed it off, or even gotten offended. But Sarah didn't. She took a deep breath, pulled out the empty chair across from them, and whispered, "Do you really want to know?" David nodded, and Lily, wide-eyed and curious, leaned forward. What Sarah said next broke him. She told them that just a year ago, she had been engaged to the love of her life, a man she had known since high school. They had built plans together, dreams of a little house, maybe children, and a future full of laughter. But one tragic night, a drunk driver hit his car on his way home from work, and he never made it. Sarah's voice trembled as she said, "He was supposed to call me that night. I was waiting for his message. Instead, I got a call from the hospital." Since that day, she confessed, it felt like the world had drained of all its color. She went through the motions of living, working shifts, paying bills, existing, but nothing made her feel alive anymore. Smiling felt almost dishonest, as if forcing herself to pretend things were fine when they weren't. "People think I'm cold," she said quietly. "But the truth is, I don't know how to smile anymore. Not when the one person who made me smile isn't here." David's heart clenched. He looked at her and saw himself years ago, drowning in grief, trying to be strong while silently collapsing inside. He remembered how lonely it felt to walk through life when everyone else expected you to keep going. And as Sarah spoke, tears welled up in his eyes. He wasn't the type to cry in public, but her pain struck him so deeply that he couldn't help it. Lily, still so young yet strangely perceptive, reached across the table and touched Sarah's hand. "My mommy's in heaven too," she said softly. "I miss her every day. But Daddy tells me Mommy wouldn't want me to be sad all the time. He says she'd want me to still laugh and play. Maybe your person would want you to smile again too." Those simple words from a child seemed to pierce through Sarah's heavy armor. She covered her mouth, and for the first time, tears streamed down her face right there in the diner. Customers around glanced, but David didn't care. He simply let her cry. He knew that sometimes, the greatest gift wasn't advice or solutions, it was the freedom to let out the pain you'd been holding in for too long. After a long pause, Sarah whispered, "You're probably right. He always loved my smile. I don't know how to find it again." David gently told her, "You don't have to force it. Healing takes time. But I can tell you this, you're not alone. I lost my wife, and for months, I thought I'd never smile again either. But my daughter reminded me that love doesn't end when someone's gone. The people we lose, they live in our memories, in the way we love others, in the small moments we keep going. Smiling doesn't mean you've forgotten them. It means you're carrying their love forward." Sarah sat quietly, processing his words, while Lily squeezed her hand again. And in that moment, though it was faint and trembling, Sarah's lips curved just slightly upward. It wasn't a full smile, but it was something. It was the first flicker of light after a long night. When they finally left the diner, Sarah thanked them with a shaky voice. "You'll never know how much I needed this," she said. "Thank you for asking. Thank you for listening." As David and Lily walked home under the streetlights, he felt both heavy and hopeful. Heavy because grief never fully disappears, it lingers like an old scar. But hopeful because he had seen how even strangers could share their broken pieces and remind each other of light. Over the next few weeks, David and Lily returned to that diner occasionally. Each time, Sarah greeted them with just a little more warmth, her eyes a little less clouded. And slowly, she began to smile again, not because her pain was gone, but because she realized it was possible to live with it and still find moments of joy. David often thought about that night. He hadn't planned to ask such a personal question, but it turned out to be the moment Sarah needed someone to notice, someone to care. And he knew deep down that Emma, if she were watching, would be proud that he had extended the same compassion that once helped him survive. This story reminds us of something vital: you never know what someone is carrying. The waitress who doesn't smile, the cashier who seems distracted, the coworker who seems withdrawn, they all have battles we can't see. Sometimes, a simple question asked with kindness, or a child's innocent words, can be the spark that helps them keep going. So the next time you see someone who looks like they're carrying the weight of the world, remember this story. Remember Sarah. And remember that small gestures of compassion can break through walls of silence and pain in ways you might never imagine. Thank you for staying with us until the end. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so more people can hear stories like this. And if you or someone you know is carrying grief, know that you're not alone. Healing doesn't mean forgetting. It means learning to live with love in a new way. Until next time, take care of each other, and remember, the smallest act of kindness can sometimes mean everything to someone.